Oduu gammachiisaa hawaasa Oromoo biyya Ameerikaa Kaalifoorniyaa fi naannoo ishee jiraattan maraaf miidiyaan keessan Gadaa Miidiyaa Neetwork qabsoo bilisummaa Oromoo utubuuf hundeeffame sagalee uummata isaa ta'uu erga eegalee waggaa tokko ol ta'ee jira. Maarree amma immoo bakka uummanni isaa jirutti eebbifamuuf qophii hunda xumuree jira. Hawaasni Oromoo Kaalifoorniyaa fi naannoo ishee jiraattan hundi guyyaa eebba miidiyaa keessan Gadaa Miidiyaa Neetwork irratti argamuun akka eebbistan waamicha Oromummaa isiniif goona. Qophii eebba Gadaa Miidiyaa Neetwork kanarratti artistootni Oromoo babbeekamoon kanneen akka Daawit Mokonnon, Adnaan Muhammadii fi kanneen biroon akkasuma hayyoonni Oromoo hedduun fagoof yoo irraa qophii kanarratti ni argamu. Isinis dhuftanii miidiyaa keessan eebbisuun akka bashannantan affeeramtanii. Guyyaan hagayya yookaan Agosti 14, 2021. Teessoon Anaheim City, Orange County, Brokers Community Center, 271 West Crescent Avenue, Anaheim, California, zip code 92801. Sa'a 5 PM. Odeeffannoo dabalataaf Siisay Abarraa +1 714681887 Maarree guyyaa kana beellama biraa qabachuun hin danda'amu. Kottaa waliin miidiyaa keenya Gadaa Miidiyaa Neetwork jabeeffanna. Egeree qabsoo keenya irratti mari'anna isiniin jedha Gadaa Miidiyaa Neetwork.
Ashamar kafune daawwattoota keenya kun daawwachaatti kan jirtan tamsaasa kallattiin isinii darbaatti kan jiru gama Oromoo Diaspora Miidiyaa Keelloo Miidiyaa Gadaa Miidiyaa Neetwork irraa magaalaa Lakkuu Minneapolis guyyaa har'aa bakka argamne kanatti bakka guyyaa yaadannoo Weellisaa Haacaaluu Hundeessaa itti wareegame waggaa 1ffaan magaalaa Lakkuu Oromiyaa xiqqoo keessatti kabajamaatti jiru. Baareen egaa turtii keenya keessatti immoo namoonni iddoo kanatti argamanii hayyoonni Oromoo, beektonni, manguddoonni, abbootiin amantii akkasuma immoo ilmaan Oromoo magaalaa Lakkuu keessa jiran bal'inaan kan qooda irratti fudhachaa jiran. Egaa Weellisaa Haacaaluu Hundeessaa du'ee addunyaa kanarraa wareegamus seenaan inni hojjete bara baraan dhaloota waliin kan jiraatu. Isa kana immoo miidiyaaleen Oromoo danuun iddoo kanatti argamanii yogguu isaan tamsaasa kallattiidhaan isin biraan gaanidha. Inni kun immoo keessumaa torban Oromoo Osfaanaa waliin wal qabatee yookiis immoo wal dorgommii kubbaa miilaa kaaba Ameerikaa waliin wal qabatee qophii addaa qophaa'edha. Qophiin kun guyyoota 3 itti aananiif kan fufu ta'a. Mariiwwan garaagaraati kan keessummeeffamu. Inni kun immoo galgala irbaataa jechuudhaan kan isaan qopheessaatti jiranii akkuma argaatti jirtan immoo naannoo kanatti suuraan Weellisaa Haacaaluu Hundeessaa bal'inaan wayitaa inni itti maxxanfamee jirudha. Kana qofa illee otoo hin taane artist Biiniyaam Raabaallee waan inni qopheesse naannoo sanatti namoonni yogguu suura kakkaa'atti jiranii fi yaadannoo Weellisaa Haacaaluu Hundeessaaf qindeessaatti jiran argina. Egaa gama ogummaa tekinikaadhaan immoo kan waliin jiru Gadaa Miidiyaa Neetwork irraa Siisay Abarraa fi akkasuma immoo seenaa toleeraas iddoo kana jiru. Turtiin keessan waliin haa ta'u miidiyaaleen Oromoo kanneen akka Oromiyaa Levelis ta'e OMN kallattiidhaan dabarsaatti jiru. Turtiin keessan waliin haa ta'u ani Tichaa Guddataatiin gidduu gidduutti namoota dubbisna. Turtii gaarii.
Must have been button too. DJ Haru Money. Still not Mali. Must have been with it. Must have been. Eco via the over. So which one is it? When you go out? Oh, okay. Jadi bukan kau, sih ya, cuma kau, sih kan? Jika jadi lagi.
I convinced him to learn. He actually took the initiative and he did my music. And he was
Galatooma ulfaadhaa taa'uu dandeettan ulfaadhaa. Can I ask Surati Sala to come to the stage and to introduce Mr. Bill, who will in turn introduce the mayor. Surati.
honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you all for attending this very special and important event. Every day is special, every day is important, but these next few days will capture and captivate the enormous impact Haacaaluu has among many generations. As Awal has mentioned, my name is Surati Saleh. I am also honored to be part of the Haacaaluu Hundeessaa Memorial Coordinating Committee. Today, I'll be introducing William Bill English. William Bill English has spent most of his adult life in some form of civic engagement, civil rights, and social justice as an advocate and activist, and as an acknowledged servant leader. He was born and raised in East St. Louis, Illinois, where he attended high school at Lovejoy, Illinois. The all-Black village founded by slaves who crossed the Mississippi River to escape slavery is one of the oldest Black towns in the United States. It was there that he was grounded in the notion that we all owe back to our beloved community. He attended college at Eastern Michigan, Ypsilanti, Michigan, and moved to Minneapolis, Minnesota to talk his way into grad school. After acceptance, he had to drop out and take a job to support his growing family. I thank you all for attending this very special and important events every day. Bill is a recipient of many awards, including being elected twice to Who's Who in Black America, the National Urban League's President's Award, Black Futurism Servant Leaders Award, the Minnesota Women's Political Caucus Good Guys Award, and the Coalition of Black Churches Community Hero Award, and several others. Bill had the honor for appearing on the award-winning 60 Minutes television program where he was interviewed by Emmy winner Mike Wallace regarding a national scam to bulk Fortune 500 firms to place larger display advertisements. The newspapers were non-existent. Bill uncovered the scam and notified his counterparts at the 500 firms that included CDC. Bill is married to the love of his life, Freddie Davis English, and the father of 4 wonderful children, including William Jr., who is deceased, Ramona English from Dallas, Texas, Cheryl D. English from Minneapolis, and Amber Nicole English Coleman of Washington, D.C. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce and to welcome Mr. Bill English Williams.
Thank you for that kind introduction. Atum Jertu. Let me hear you. Atum Jertu. Thank you so much. On behalf of the African American community specifically, and the community of Minneapolis, I welcome this wonderful celebration of the Oromo community. I have but one single role here tonight, and that is to introduce you to the mayor of Minneapolis. But first, Mayor, with all due respect, I must first say that one of the things that I enjoyed while sitting here was some of the fantastic music I've ever heard. I've never been introduced to the music from your community. It is wonderful. And as we say in my community, you all know how to get down. Okay? So I want to welcome you by first using the words of our ancestors, Hotep. And as they say in my community, what's up, y'all? Okay, it has been more than 5 decades since I arrived in Minneapolis, as was stated earlier, to talk my way into grad school. During that time, I've went through and witnessed many, many mayors of the city of Minneapolis, my beloved city. However, I can think of only 2 exceptions to mayors, and there have been some honorable ones. One, Hubert Humphrey, one of the great leaders in our country, a vice president who helped introduce civil rights in 1960s. So we are paying tribute to the home of Hubert Humphrey, where he's first served as mayor. Some of my favorites have been Don Fraser, and of course my most favorite of all, Sharon Sells Belton, the first Black female mayor of the city of Minneapolis. Let's give her a warm round of applause. However, more recently, I have been so impressed with Mayor Jacob Fryer, one of the brightest stars, political stars that has arrived on the scene of Minneapolis. I've heard people talk about equity, diversity, and inclusion, but I've never seen a mayor walk the walk and walk the talk like Mayor Jacob Fryer. So let's give him a round of applause. My grandson accused me of never seeing a mic that I didn't love, so I'm gonna get right to the task. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fryer grew up in Northern Virginia and went to College of William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia on a track scholarship. I didn't know that, Mayor. I'm a 60-ward dasher. That was long before your time. After graduating with a degree in government, he began running professionally while attending law school at Villanova University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That's when he came to Minneapolis to run the Twin Cities Marathon, and where he fell in love with this city. The day after graduating, he drove 1,200 miles west to Minneapolis, his chosen home. As an employment and civil rights attorney, Jacob became an active community organizer in 2011. He led efforts to launch the Big Gay Race, which raised over $250,000 to help defeat the proposed Minnesota constitutional amendment defining gay marriage between a man and a woman. He also became involved in advocacy for those experiencing homelessness, helping tenants who kept their homes in North Minneapolis. In 2012, the city of Minneapolis awarded the inaugural Martin Luther King Jr. Award to Jacob for his civil rights work. I'm going to applaud him for that. The mayor ran successfully to represent the 3rd Ward in the city council in 2013. As a council member, Jacob focused on constituent services, increasing residential growth, growing the number and variety of small and local businesses, and fully funding affordable housing. Since his election as mayor in 2017, Jacob has championed an agenda centered on increasing access to affordable housing throughout the city, strengthening community police relations, and fueling economic growth through inclusive policies. He has successfully secured record-setting investments for the city in affordable housing work, boosting efforts to expand and preserve affordable housing. Jacob has worked with the police chief of Madero Arredondo, who is one of my closest allies, to shift the department's culture, enhance accountability, and prioritize officer wellness. From strengthening the department's use of force policy, Jacob has been persistent in improving public safety in Minneapolis and to help bridge the city's racial disparities. The mayor has targeted resources when they're needed most to accelerate economic growth. He worked with his council colleagues to establish 7 new cultural districts, areas prioritized for investment in some of our most marginalized communities. To help ensure more entrepreneurs of color have a fair shot at owning their own property, he created a first-of-its-kind commercial property development fund, targeted resources to neighborhoods that have historically experienced disinvestment. Jacob lives on the east side of Minneapolis with his wife, Sarah Clark. Sarah practices government relations with a focus on early childhood education. One other thing I want to credit the mayor. At the time of the height of the George Floyd murder, the mayor stood in front of a crowd of protesters in his in front of his home, and he showed the courage unlike any other mayor in the city of Minneapolis. I applaud him for that courage, standing up. And so without any further ado, I want to introduce you to a brilliant politician, a great mayor who's running for re-election, and he will return to office and lead this city to greatness. Let me introduce my colleague, my friend, and one of the best mayors the city of Minneapolis had, Mayor Jacob Fry.
Aroma Tirtu! Deno Tirtu! Aroma Tirtu! Deno Tirtu! Akam Gipfa Faera! Yaadannoo! It is a great honor to be here with the Oromo community tonight. A wonderful honor to be introduced by the legendary, magnificent Mr. Bill English, who has been a mentor to so many throughout the community. Please give him a round of applause. And especially on this particular day, just 1 year and 1 month after our friend and our brother Haacaaluu was assassinated, we are all here together to rally together in the effort of his very album, Mal Malisa. We know that this particular album was more than just music. It was more than just notes. It was about the importance of working together as people, about the importance of rallying around common causes, peace and love and forgiveness. That is what Haacaaluu stood for, am I right? That is what Jawar Muhammad continues to stand for. We need our Oromo community to continue to stand up, but even more importantly, we need to continue to stand with them. It has been a great honor to get to know my good friend, Tashida Tufa, who has done so much for this extraordinary community here in Minneapolis. Getting to know the Oromo community over these last several years has been more than just understanding a language. It's understanding a common cause of righteousness. It's understanding these principles of entrepreneurship and love and companionship and working together. It's understanding that when we all join hands, hand in hand, facing the world, collectively, we can strive for those concepts of peace and prosperity. We can recognize a common understanding of each and every one of our individual but collective humanities. That is what I have learned from the Oromo community. And that is ultimately how I believe that we can partner together, standing up for justice, standing up for peace, speaking out against injustices regardless of where they are, and whether those injustices happen in the United States in the form of the murder of George Floyd, or those injustices happen in Ethiopia. Collectively, we all need to stand together in one common accord and say that is wrong. So I don't know how many of you know about my background, but I used to be a very serious distance runner. And while I may not have reached the silver medalist caliber of Faisal Elisa, we do collectively understand this beautiful concept of the correlation between hard work and success. That is a correlation that we want to experience for each and every person. It's this beautiful concept that when you work harder than that person who may be standing next to you on the starting line, then you succeed. This correlation between hard work and success is one that we want to introduce for everyone in the city of Minneapolis. Oromo, Somali, East African, Norwegian, Black American, you name it, every single one of us need to have this common mentality that we are pushing for equality and for justice. I know that you all are here. I know that it's a concept that you all believe in. And for those reasons and so many others, I say to you all, Galatomi, thank you so much. I am honored to be here with all of you. I am honored to work with you, and I look forward to the work ahead. Galatomi, thank you so much.
My work is finished, but I first of all want to pay honor to the committee that planned this great celebration. I want to thank them for humbling me with giving me an opportunity to speak to you. I want to speak to the traditional dress I've seen in so many beautiful women in this place. I'm honored by the beauty of your traditional dress. Thank you for sharing that with us. I just want to announce that I'm also a colleague with the Oromo 11, a new satellite channel being introduced by your people for your community across the diaspora into the Horn of South Africa. Let us understand this communication tool is a way we bridge the gap between the Oromo community and the African American community. We stand with you in solidarity. We will be with you as our brothers and our sisters. God bless you all. I love you all, and thank you for this opportunity. I don't want to stumble without my glasses.
Thank you to Bill English for that very powerful, very hopeful message. I also want to thank Mayor Frey for his message of hope, for his energy, and for his unwavering support and commitment to our community here in Minneapolis. Next up, I will invite Mr. Tashidi to the stage to invite and introduce Senator John.
Oromo jirtu, Qeerroo jirtu, Qarreen jirtu. Guyyaa akkasii kanatti sagantaa bareedaa akkanaa kana qopheessanii koree akkasitti midhaagee Haacaaluu Hundeessaa akka yaadannoo nu godhaniif galata guddaa kabajaa guddaan qaba. Baay'ee galatoomaa jechuu barbaada. Asirratti ka dhiyaadheef nama yeroo dheeraa waggootii dheeraaf kasi hundinuu beektan waa'ee mirga Oromootiif mirga barattoota Oromootiif mana maree as Minnesota keessatti yeroo dheeraa oduu jijjiirraa takkan qabaan fuulaanis ijannoonis hojiinis nama cimeetiin dhaabate. Ka yeroo baay'ee inni nu booda isin himuuf deemu hanga yeroo biyyarraa itti bilbilanii sodaachisuutitti ka yeroo kamiyyuu gad hin cadhifne senatera obboleessa keessan gorsaa keessan bakka bu'aa keessan ka ta'e Senator John Hoffman isinii dhiyeessaa. yeroo kanatti afaan Ingiliffaatiin waan diqqoo jedheetiin gara isaa isinii dhiyeessaa jechuudha. My name is Tashire Waggaa. I'm a resident of the city of Brooklyn Park. It's really a great honor and privilege to welcome to the stage our brother, our friend and elder, Senator John Hoffman. As you all know, Senator John Hoffman, since 2004, he stands firm for human rights, justice, and equity, particularly demanding justice in Ethiopia. Senator John Hoffman wrote and introduced so many resolutions in the Minnesota State Senate that became an impetus to really trigger Senate House Resolution HR 128 to be introduced and passed in 2018 in the U.S. House of Representatives. Everywhere Senator John Hoffman goes, he reflects Oromo, Oromumma, human rights, justice, and equity. It's my distinct honor when I welcome Senator John Hoffman to the stage, and I would like you to join me in welcoming him to the stage and say a few words.
What are you guys, are we asleep? Come on, this is a celebration. Let's get up and say hello. Oromo Jirtu. Oromo Jirtu. Oromo Jirtu. I love it. Hello, my family. How are you? Wow. To think in 2013, when I took the office of State Senate, to see folks out in front of the Capitol that first session who were peacefully protesting human rights violations in this huge country called Ethiopia, I had to take notice, because a lot of those folks were grieving and mourning the loss of young adults who were peacefully protesting, minding their own business. And what happened was beyond anything I could imagine, was that their life was taken from them, doing something that we do in Minnesota take for granted, which is the ability to protest. When something is wrong, we want to make it right. When somebody's being treated wrong, we want to make sure they are treated right. Don't you agree with me on that? The youngest door knocker I've ever had in the career, not that I have a career in politics, but that's supposed to be funny. My wife told me, John, you're not funny. Please don't try to be funny. So I'm not going to try to be funny. Oromo, Arafasi's son, was a little baby, and his dad is Jawar. And little Oromo was door knocking with me. We had him. There's a picture on Facebook. And actually, Hollis Winston, who is from Brooklyn Park, who's running for mayor of Brooklyn Park. If anybody knows anybody in Brooklyn Park, this Hollis Winston is here. It was at Hollis's house. And to know Jawar and to see what is happening now and what happened, to me, was still wrong. And I'm going to back up. In 2018, we as a delegation welcomed the first time in the history of Minnesota an Ethiopian jetliner landed in the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. Wow. It was to sight to see this 747, I don't even know. Somebody is an airplane person can figure this one out. But this big honking jet landed, and we were on the tarmac. And it was the first time in history that here was a contingency from Ethiopia that was coming to Minnesota to say, this is a renewed spirit. This is what we want. We want peace and we want justice. Man, I wish 2018 was here again. And I wish those same words were echoing from the same people who were saying in 2018, we want peace and we want justice, because the only time we're ever going to have any kind of freedom in the United States, any kind of freedom in the world, is if we have peace and we have justice. And that's why we're here. This musician that we are talking about today, 1 year ago, talked about peace and justice, sang about peace and justice, got us to realize that music is the ultimate universal language. Peace and justice. If there's one thing that we take away from any of this, is that we must keep the spirit of Haacaaluu alive with peace and justice. We must keep and maintain the spirit, because Paul Wellstone said, we all do better when we all do better. Do you believe that? I do. We all do better when we all do better. Peace and justice. We will never have a free society until we have peace and justice. My challenge to you and to everybody who's out there is to continue to hold people accountable to those phrases of peace and justice, because if you really mean it, let's live it. If you really mean it, let's do it. If you really mean it, let's get everybody else to do it. If you really mean it, then stop using those words without having any meaning to it. We want peace and justice, and that is why I say it would be nice to go back to 2018, but we can't. We have to look forward. We have to say we are demanding peace and justice. I'm going to keep saying that until I'm no longer a state senator. Well, I'll keep saying it after that too. But the point is, we all are never going to be in a free society until we have what we have. And again, I'm going to quote Paul Wellstone one more time, because I know his son well, David Wellstone. We all do better when we all do better. And I raise this up to you, that we must do better. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Tashti. Every time I hear people that are not Oromo speak about Haacaaluu, I realize that he's not just a national treasure, icon, but he's also a figure of global renown. Somebody who transcended the particularity of his upbringing to stand for something bigger in the world. That is the precious son that we're here to celebrate tonight. Warri Minnesota, nu boonsitanii, dhugaa isiniin jedha. Baay'ee ulfaadha, baay'ee galatooma. Xiqqoo sodaan qaban ture, shakkii qaban ture. Akkanatti isin argu biyyaaf garuu gammachuu guddaa natti dhaga'ama. Baay'ee galatooma. Ani guyyaa 20 karaa deemee London irraa as ga'e. Covidii wal qabatee biyya kana dhufuudhaaf torban 2 guyyaa 14f UK'dhaan ala furuunarra ture. San godheetiniin dhufe. Still garuu akkanatti miidhagdaniitiniin baatanii sagantaa kana bareechiftan jedhee hiyyaanni ture. Baay'ee galatoomaa onnee kiyyarraatiin galateeffachuu barbaada. Dubbiin baay'ee sinu akkuma isiniin jedhe amma gara dookumentarii deemna. Dookumentariin kun daqiiqaa 45 akkana fudhata. Sagantama kanaaf jenneetiniin ji'a 4-5 darbe keessa kan hojjetamee kan qophaa'edha. Hophiin jaallattan jedhee abdii guddaa qaba. Namoonni nyaata nyaatiin nyaanni dabalamni dhufee jira. Nyaata nyaadhaa garuu amma gara dookumentarii deemna. So we can start screening the documentary now.
Oduu gammachiisaa hawaasa Oromoo biyya Ameerikaa, Kaalifoorniyaa fi naannoo ishee jiraattan maraaf. miidiyaan keessan Gadaa Miidiyaa Network qabsoo bilisummaa Oromoo utubuuf hundeeffame sagalee uummata isaa ta'uu erga eegalee waggaa tokko ol ta'ee jira. Maarree amma immoo bakka uummanni isaa jirutti eebbifamuuf qophii hunda xumuree jira. Hawaasni Oromoo Kaalifoorniyaa fi naannoo ishee jiraattan hundi guyyaa eebba miidiyaa keessan Gadaa Miidiyaa Network irratti argamuun akka eebbistan waamicha Oromummaa isiniif goona. Qophii eebba Gadaa Miidiyaa Network kanarratti artistootni Oromoo babbeekamoon kanneen akka Daawit Mokonnon, Adnaan Muhammadii fi kanneen biroon akkasuma hayyoonni Oromoo hedduun fagoof yoo irraa qophii kanarratti ni argamu. Isinis dhuftanii miidiyaa keessan eebbisuun akka bashannantan affeeramtanii. Guyyaan hagayya yookaan Agosti 14 2021. Teessoon Anaheim City, Orange County, Brokers Community Center, 227 West Crescent Avenue, Anaheim, California, zip code 92801. Sa'a 5 PM. Odeeffannoo dabalataaf Siisay Abarraa +1 714681887 Maarree guyyaa kana beellama biraa qabachuun hin danda'amu. Kottaa waliin miidiyaa keenya Gadaa Miidiyaa Network jabeeffanna. Egeree qabsoo keenya irratti mari'anna isiniin jedha Gadaa Miidiyaa Network.